Welcome to day 3, week 4 of the course, Campus Recruitment Training. Today we will focus on the strategies to initiate, drive and conclude discussions. Listen to the story. It was the placement season at Zenith Institute of Management. The final shortlisting for a leading multinational firm involved a group discussion round. The topic assigned was the role of artificial intelligence in shaping human decisions. Among the 8 candidates was Irwin, a quiet and observant student known for his analytical skills but not usually the first to speak in public. As the timer started, most participants hesitated, unsure of how to begin. Arvind saw the moment and took initiative. He greeted the group politely and opened the discussion by defining artificial intelligence in a simple way. He then briefly outlined how AI is being used in areas like healthcare, finance, and education, and posed an open-ended question to the group on whether AI was empowering or replacing human decisions. This gentle yet clear start set a positive tone and encouraged participation. Midway through the discussion, as ideas started overlapping and some participants repeated points, the conversation began losing structure. Arvind stepped in again, this time not with a new argument, but by linking what others had said. He summarized 2 different viewpoints and said, both raise valid concerns, but there seems to be a gap around how accountability is handled when AI decisions go wrong. He then invited others to explore that angle. His strategy to drive the discussion was not by dominating it, but by directing its flow and keeping it on track. As time was about to end, Arvind noticed that discussion had covered ethical, economic, and social perspectives. He quickly recapped the main arguments in a neutral and balanced way, appreciating the diversity of viewpoints. Then he concluded with a closing line that highlighted AI as a tool that must remain under human responsibility and oversight. This gave the discussion a thoughtful ending and left a strong impression on both the group and the panel. Later, during feedback, the recruiter said Arvind demonstrated all the qualities they were looking for in a team lead, that is, initiative, focus, clarity, and the ability to listen and unify diverse thoughts. He did not just participate, he elevated the discussion by guiding its rhythm from beginning to end. Arvind's story became an example on campus of how initiating a discussion with clarity, steering it with purpose, and concluding it with balance is a powerful strategy that recruiters respect and remember. In a group discussion during campus recruitment, what often separates successful candidates from the rest is not just knowledge or fluency, but the ability to structure and guide the conversation. Recruiters observe how candidates initiate, drive, and conclude the discussion because these stages reveal leadership, clarity, and collaboration. Each phase of the GD requires a different communication strategy that demonstrates presence of mind and interpersonal awareness, initiating the discussion. The person who begins the discussion sets the tone. A good initiator does not rush into speaking first without thought. Instead, they take a few seconds to understand the topic and then offer a calm and clear opening. This may involve defining key terms, presenting a short overview, or proposing a question to the group. The goal is to introduce the topic in a way that opens up multiple directions for conversation. For example, if the topic is should social media be banned for children under 16, a smart initiator might begin by saying social media is a powerful tool that has changed how people communicate and learn, but its use among young teenagers raises concerns about mental health, privacy, and productivity. This sets a neutral ground for others to contribute and prevents the discussion from turning into a debate immediately. A good initiator also avoids stating a strong opinion in the very first minute. They provide context and encourage others to build on the topic. This shows confidence without appearing dominant and signals teamwork from the start. Driving the discussion. Once the conversation begins, the next challenge is to keep it meaningful and focused. A candidate who can drive the discussion forward demonstrates leadership by guiding the flow of ideas. This does not mean talking the most. Instead, it means listening actively, linking ideas, and filling gaps. Driving the discussion includes actions like paraphrasing others' points to keep the thread intact, introducing new perspectives when the conversation is stuck, and asking relevant questions to explore deeper issues. It also involves managing conflict and ensuring that quieter voices are heard. For instance, if a few participants are arguing over the pros and cons of online education and missing the impact on rural students, a thoughtful candidate might say, while we have discussed how online learning benefits urban learners, we should also consider how digital access affects students in remote areas. This introduces a new angle and balances the discussion. Body language during this phase is just as important. The participant who sits upright, makes eye contact, listens attentively, and speaks with controlled gestures commands respect without force. Their tone remains firm but respectful. They show that they can be persuasive without being aggressive and collaborative without losing direction. Concluding the discussion. As time runs out, discussions often become chaotic with people rushing to speak. A well prepared candidate knows how to step in calmly and summarize the discussion in a structured way. This includes recalling key points raised by different speakers, noting contrasting views, and highlighting any areas of consensus. The conclusion should not just be the speaker's opinion, it should reflect the group's overall exploration. Phrases like "we have discussed" or "the group seemed to agree" that followed by a brief summary work well. A balanced closure also acknowledges that while there may not be a single answer, the discussion brought valuable perspectives together if the topic was "Is artificial intelligence a threat to human employment?" A strong conclusion may sound like while some members emphasized the risk of job displacement, others noted how AI could create new roles through automation and innovation. Overall, the group recognized the importance of adapting our skills to align with future technologies. This type of conclusion shows presence of mind, neutrality, and leadership maturity. Final thoughts. Initiating a discussion shows preparedness and composure. Driving it reflects analytical thinking, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. Concluding it reveals clarity, listening skills, and the ability to synthesize diverse inputs. Together, these strategies demonstrate the professional communication abilities recruiters value most. Candidates who master these three stages of group discussion are more likely to leave a lasting impression and progress in the recruitment process with confidence and credibility. Let us now look at the real-life examples from campus recruitment settings that illustrate effective strategies to initiate, drive, and conclude group discussions. Example 1. Initiating the discussion. During the placement process at a reputed management college, the topic for group discussion was: should India prioritize economic growth over environmental protection? Most candidates hesitated to speak first. One student named Anjali calmly took the initiative. She began by giving a brief background on India's current economic position and then introduced the idea that growth and sustainability need not be conflicting goals. She did not rush to state her opinion, but instead posed a thoughtful question to the group, asking how both objectives could be balanced. Her opening set a cooperative tone for the discussion and encouraged multiple perspectives to flow in. Recruiters later shared that her initiative showed confidence and awareness without appearing forceful. Second example, driving the discussion. At an engineering college, the GD topic was the impact of automation on employment. After a few participants shared basic points, the discussion began to drift with people repeating ideas. A candidate named Ramesh observed this and stepped in to organize the thoughts. He said, "We have discussed job loss, but not the new skills automation demands." He then introduced a new direction about how education systems must adapt to future technologies. When two participants disagreed strongly, Ramesh listened to both sides and helped the group refocus on the main theme. His ability to steer the discussion forward made him stand out as a clear leader. He was shortlisted for displaying presence of mind and effective communication. Third example, concluding the discussion. At a design school, during a group discussion on the topic, "Can creativity be taught?" the discussion became animated with many participants taking strong positions. As the timekeeper signaled the final minute, one candidate named Meera offered to summarize. Without favoring any side, she recalled that some speakers emphasized natural talent while others highlighted structured learning. She then concluded that creativity involves both inborn traits and techniques that can be nurtured through education and exposure. Her calm voice, balanced tone, and objective summary helped wrap the discussion neatly. Recruiters appreciated her ability to absorb different inputs and give a concise conclusion under pressure. Fourth example, using all three strategies. At a business school group discussion round, the topic was universal basic income is the future of social welfare. A candidate named Arjun began by introducing the concept with global examples. As others spoke, he asked clarifying questions, added perspectives about fiscal challenges, and brought in the Indian context. When the discussion became repetitive, he offered new angles such as long-term economic behavior and workforce motivation. Towards the end, he summarized the major viewpoints without bias and emphasized the need for pilot models before full-scale implementation. Arjun's initiation, direction, and conclusion were all executed with professionalism. He was among the top choices for his ability to manage the full arc of the discussion. These real-life examples show how the right strategies at the beginning, middle, and end of a group discussion can create a strong impression. Candidates who take initiative with purpose, drive the conversation with structure, and conclude with balance are consistently recognized by recruiters as effective communicators and team players. Let us now focus on the case studies that demonstrate successful strategies to initiate, drive, and conclude discussions during campus recruitment training. Case study 1. Initiating the discussion. At a top engineering institute, a financial services company was conducting group discussions to shortlist candidates for analyst roles. The topic was, can India become a cashless economy? As soon as the discussion began, most participants hesitated. One student, Neelima, took the initiative with calm confidence. She began by giving a short explanation of what a cashless economy means in the Indian context and mentioned recent government initiatives such as UPI and digital banking. She followed this by inviting other members to share their views. Her opening was informative, neutral, and inviting. The panel noted that she did not speak first to gain points but structured the discussion and encouraged participation. She was selected because her initiative reflected leadership and awareness without aggression. Second case study, driving the discussion. During a campus placement at a premier business school, a tech company hosted a group discussion with the topic, should social media be regulated? The discussion started well, but soon became fragmented with participants debating emotionally. One candidate, Karan, brought the discussion back on track. He acknowledged the opposing views, then introduced the angle of how regulation works in other countries and how India could learn from those models. He asked thoughtful questions that helped others regroup and discuss constructively. By keeping the conversation focused and respectful, he demonstrated the ability to drive a discussion forward. He did not dominate but acted as a moderator. His ability to manage chaos and steer the discussion made him a clear choice for the interview round. Third case study, concluding the discussion. At a design college placement drive, the group discussion topic was, is innovation more important than execution? The session was lively with candidates sharing creative insights and business examples. As the discussion neared its end, the group was still scattered in opinions. A candidate named Aisha stepped in and said, we have heard strong arguments for both innovation and execution. She summarized the key points shared by others and concluded by saying that while innovation starts the journey, execution ensures success, and both are interdependent. Our conclusion was well balanced, objective, and inclusive. The recruiters appreciated that she was shortlisted for demonstrating clarity and maturity. Fourth case study, integrating all three strategies. In a final placement group discussion at a management institute, a consulting firm gave the topic, can remote workplace replace office culture permanently? A candidate named Vikram started by defining remote work and briefly mentioned both advantages and challenges. As the discussion progressed, he guided the group into exploring different sectors such as IT, education, and healthcare. When others began repeating ideas, he brought in fresh perspectives by citing survey data and employee productivity reports. Towards the end, he summarized the main arguments from both sides and concluded that the future of work may be hybrid rather than entirely remote or in office. Vikram was appreciated for handling all three stages, starting with clarity, driving with depth, and closing with balance. He was offered a role based on his holistic communication performance. These case studies show that success in group discussions is not based on speaking the most, but on demonstrating the ability to start strong, guide the discussion with purpose, and end with clarity. These are the traits recruiters consistently look for in professional environments.